Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a first impressions of the Sugarpill Capsule 2 palette, which I purchased to compare to the Jouer tan lines. So I'm going to be doing a demo with this palette as well as some swatches to compare both of them. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're going to get into it right now. The reason why I wanted to do this video is to take a look at the Sugarpill Capsule 2 collection. I know this is a little bit older of a palette. Initially when this palette came out, I was not interested in picking up the palette because I felt like I already had something in my collection that kind of mirrored this same color story. And that's the Jouer Tan Lines palette. So if you don't remember what this palette looks like, it looks like this. So when I saw this palette, I was like, hey, this has mostly pinky toned warm neutrals over here, and then it's got a couple pops of yellow, blue, green. This is a beautiful palette. I really want to get it. So when I saw this one come out, for Sugarpill, I didn't think that I needed both because the color stories look so similar. I mean, even down to the blue, the green, and the yellow. The pops look so similar. You probably don't recall a whole lot of people talking about this anymore because this palette is trash, okay? There's no pigmentation. If you like go really hard into the color, like you can get a little bit of color payoff when you actually do the swatches, but on the eyes, this looks so washed out and faded. These tones are very like muted. The shimmers are not very shimmery. And then these tones here, like they look bright in the pan, but like you just don't get a lot of color payoff. Like I'm not impressed. I'm not in love. So I ended up actually putting this aside to declutter to my aunt. So thank you so much for letting me, play with it one last time. But I did want to swatch these two side by side so that you could see a color comparison. And maybe if you missed out on this one, or if you were unfortunate enough to actually purchase this, you might want to reconsider getting the Sugarpill one. So now I'm going to go into some swatches and then we're going to do a look on the eyes. Okay, so this top row here is the Jouer Tan Lines palette, and you can see how like very light and sheer washes of colors these are, and even the shimmers, like they don't have a very pigmented base, so you just don't get a lot of good color payoff, whereas this is the Sugarpill Capsule 2, and I tried to line them up for the colors that are similar so that you could see how those change in sort of their vibrancy. But there certainly are some differences. Number one, this deeper red color, this deeper brown color. We don't have, matching shades in the other one. And then the purpley kind of duochrome here. The duochrome in the C2 capsule palette is more of a red base with like a silver blue top. So all in all, I think just the pigmentation and the quality of the Sugarpill Capsule 2 is just superior than compared to the Jouer Tan Lines palette. So this is the color story for the Sugarpill palette. You can see you've definitely got a lot of, like neutral kind of shades over here, and then you've got some nice bright pops of color over here. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of do a little bit with everything in the palette. Well, not everything. I'm not beeping. Okay, so let's start with Side Eye, which is this sort of like neutrally kind of brown shade up at the top. And I'm sure you guys have noticed I was on quite a long break from filming. I had gotten sick, and so had my husband, so we were kind of laying low and just trying to rest and save our energy. So I really do appreciate all of the patience that you guys have had with my channel. I'm hoping to kind of get back into the swing of things, which means these first couple videos are probably going to be so rough. Because I just have not filmed in forever, basically. Okay, so then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten up the edges with the blush shade in here, which is called Retrograde. So it's that like nice big blush color, and just kind of buff that out on the edges. Kind of soften this up a little bit. I think that looks really pretty. And then let's go in. Thank you to whomever's texting me. Reminds me to turn off my phone. I'm gonna go in with Double Shot, which is this like deep brown coffee kind of color over here. Oh boy. And see, this is what I was missing in the other palette, because the Jouer Tan Lines palette, first of all, the deepest shade in there is still only like a mid-tone brown. And second of all, you're never going to be able to build up like a nice, dramatic, intense outer part of your lid. Alright, so that looks really pretty. I'm going to grab, I just picked up the Too Faced, what am I saying? I just picked up the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in 00 Fair, and it's basically just a straight up white. And the reason why I wanted to pick it up, like you can see, it's literally just white. I wanted to pick it up to use for a cut crease base because I have the, I think it's Fair 02 or Fair 04 or something like that. I have one of the other shades, but it has just enough pigment in it that it sort of distorts the color that I put over top of it. So I'm hoping that by using the one that's purely white, I'll get a little bit better coverage without the effect on the color that I put over top. So let's give this a try. Beautiful. Alright, and I just like to take like a flat paddle brush and wipe a little bit off and then use that to apply it. And then I learned the trick of applying it to the bottom, opening your eye up, and then that gives you a good guideline for where to draw your cut crease. In case you hadn't have already seen that on like 500 other YouTube channels. Alright, so we got that down, and then I want to go in with the bright colors. So I want to go in probably with the green and blue and just do like a nice gradient here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And I'm using one of the Profusion, this is the Flat Shader Eyeshadow ES5 brush. This is really nice for getting like good color to pick up and then planting it down on your lid. Alright, that's pretty. And we're going to go pick up some of the blue. feel like this palette would be really good for like fall vibes too, because you have some of these summery colors, but you could even take this and really like grunge it out and make it nice for fall. Alright, I like that. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. So let me grab this little Essence brush. It's like one of their holiday brushes from last year, and I'm just gonna kind of finish out the lower lash line here. I think I'll go in with Elevate, which is this shade right up here, kind of a frosty peach color. And then let's finish off with that same brown double shot. And then I'm going to grab a fluffier brush, nothing on it, and just kind of blend those colors in. Okay. I actually really like how that looks. It's got like some vibrancy from the yellow and the green, from the green and the blue, but then you've got like kind of some earthy, kind of grungier tones with the double shot shade and Elevate. You know, you've got a lot of versatility here. So again, I'll show you. Woohoo! Let's do it this way. So the shades that I ended up using were Elevate, Side Eye, Double Shot, Skyrise, and Insomniac. By the way, shout out to Sugarpill for making a palette that's see-through so that somebody who's vlogging or blogging or doing a video like this can actually know where they're supposed to be pointing. I really appreciate that. Alright, so that's this. Let me throw on some mascara and liner and I will be right back. Okay, so I opted just to go in with the Urban Decay Perversion mascara and opted against some eyeliner. I was going to do false lashes, but I really think that this looks so pretty that I don't really want to block it out by having like a thick voluminous lash. So this is the final look. And I have to say, in terms of ease of use, this palette is so nice for just like a quick look. You've got a couple pops of bright colors, but you've also got a lot of neutrals, so you can really go in a lot of different directions. And I really appreciate that they took some of these shades like Double Shot and Youngblood. I like that they took those and left them go so deep so that you can actually get a full range of color in your look, because I think a lot of palettes suffer from being kind of light to medium and they never go deep dark. Listen to the Jouer Tan Lines palette. You can see the deepest shade that you have is kind of this brown color here in the middle, but it's really like, it's not very pigmented. Like, it's just not. So this really isn't going to be a color that's going to like smoke out a lash line or deepen up an outer part of your crease. Like, you're not going to be able to get a look like this from this palette. So with that being said, I would say my first impressions on this one are that it's definitely a nice come up in comparison to the Jouer Tan Lines. I will definitely be decluttering this one. It is off on its way to my aunt's house and I'm going to hang on to this one. So if you were on the edge thinking you had Jouer Tan Lines in your collection already, you really didn't need this one, I would beg to differ. So that is going to conclude my video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to catch you in my next video. Bye!